Hello, welcome back. My name is Vazco the Gamer, and today I'm just going to talk about how far we've come. Basically, because I just checked everything yesterday when I was going to do the stream, which I held on for about 4 hours, and now it's being uploaded to a channel for everyone to see and enjoy. Even though it's not live anymore, it's still more of a 4-hour recording if you want, for some reason, to watch everything I do. And to that I say thank you, you stalker. Anyway, I was mainly just going to do this because I checked and this video will be number 284 I make this year. And my plan is to go through with around 300 videos. I think that is insane, basically, because even though I started out the year with making about 2 videos a day for a long time, then burned myself out a bit, and even with the new days or new diagnosis rather, and that affected me especially a lot. I think that making 300 videos in the span of late March until now, that is still quite a lot. That's almost one every day at this point. I think it's more than that because you forgot March, February and January basically, and so with that in mind, it's been about one a day. And I think that in itself is that is something that will truly, that is helpful for me in the long span of things, because I never thought that I would make it this far. I never thought that I had the endurance to keep doing this, just to talk to everyone here for not long, but then it's about 15 minutes a day, which something I would normally never do. I have days where I barely talk to myself, and that is impressive because I talk a lot during the day and I talk a lot to myself, but there are days where I'm completely clammed up. Just, oh, should I talk? No? Okay. That's basically some days of, in the span of a month, that's basically 3 days. And it's not because I love to hear myself talk, oh god, no. It's more like because I have problems thinking silently. The normal way that I usually do calculations or think or talk or just gather my mind is through talking, because when I'm talking I'm usually just, okay, let's see how far we can go with this. Okay, we come this far. Oh damn, that's a lot. And so that's very hard to put down on a piece of paper in my mind. Because of not the complexity of things, I'm not that egotistical. I'm more like, okay, it's hard because to gather everything up and how to both just express it and also to put in some emotions here and there, it's way easier to do that when you talk than when you write. That is my situation at the very least. But anyway, making so many videos in this time span, it's... When I worked as a reporter, I made about, let's say that it was around 2 reports during a week. And that was 4 times as much as the other one who worked in the firm did. And that was amazing to be able to do so. But by myself, just to push myself every day to do this is something that, blown even my mind. And I hope I can keep doing that next year as well. But now we're approaching Christmas and we're not just thinking about ourselves but others as well, and that is very important, as I kept talking about in a lot of videos lately. But that's just because it's a both easy and difficult subject to talk about, because helping others are not difficult to talk about in itself, but that also implies that someone needs help, and realizing that you need help yourself sometimes are that is much harder than to admit that, wait, that random person or that friend need help. Realizing that yourself need some help consolidating, or basically you're, I won't say messed up, but you're in a place where it's not good to be. That is some of the hardest thing you have to admit during your life, because it will happen at some point to a lot of people. Sorry, getting a bit sick, which I always do this time of year. And getting, if it's depression, if it's exhaustion, if it's that you're burned out, if it's you're lonely, or any number of reasons that you're not being your cheery self, that's usually the hardest thing to talk about. And I'm quite an open person. If you ask me, I will answer, because that's who I am. And that's who I want everyone else to be. Then again, people aren't usually like that open-minded about themselves. They can be open-minded about everything else, but when it comes to themselves, no. And so, I try to be as transparent as I can be. I don't want to have any secrets, because what's the point? And also that leaves yet a barrier, because being depressed isn't the thing that is usually pictured to be. That goes for almost every single mental or physical challenge, because what you see is not always what it is. Being depressed isn't to just have a dark cloud hang over your head. That can even happen on a good day, or for someone who isn't depressed, that happens to them as well. Depression isn't always going down, as the same is for a person who isn't depressed, is not always constantly up here and woo, we have a good day, we have it nice. No, if you're depressed, you can have those days as well. And if you're to yourself, you might have a bad day as well. And that's the problem, because there's no on and off, there's not always an easy way to distinguish between these things, and it's also very important to say that, man, I'm lonely sometimes. And that happens. But it's not something that should happen. It's also something that we are not going to joke about. If you're lonely, if you're depressed, or if you feel, well, if you're not in a good place, let's talk about it. Easy as that. Because loneliness and depression isn't things that just goes away. They're not. And that is something that we have to talk about. It's not like you can just, I'm depressed today. Let's try not to be. Sorry, buddy, but that's not how depression works most of the time. Or any time. Because the fact is, it's sometimes a bit more complicated than that. It's not like you can choose to be one or the other, like, should I be intersexual orientation today? Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. That's way more fun. That's not how that works either. When it comes to mental psych and illnesses, challenges, and disorders, and everything in between, it's not something that you have control over. It's not like, let's try not that. We'll try something else today. It's not like picking out a new shirt for the day. And that's very important to remember. Same with loneliness. Like me, I have days where I don't want to talk to anyone, or see anyone, or hear them at all. Like I just want to be by myself. That's not loneliness. That's more like, okay, I don't want to have anyone nearby. That's, okay, I want to be alone. Alone and loneliness are two completely different things. When you want to be alone, sure, go ahead. Enjoy your spare time. Your time alone. Be home alone if you want, Kevin. but loneliness, that you want someone there, and if there's no one around for a period of time, that could lead to depression, or one kind of depression. For me, how it was for me at the very least was that I've been lonely a lot of, well, my time here on the planet, because the fact is, I didn't have many friends growing up. And so I knew that wasn't the normal situations for most kids. At least not in, well, this society. At the same time, I had tendencies of, or symptoms of depression back then, but it wasn't that, they wasn't that forthcoming. Then university came around, and my cheery self just became fading more and more, and darkened a bit by bit, because I didn't realize it. And so that is one of the major problems with that situation. That if you dim a light a bit by bit, you don't notice the difference until it's completely different. And that is a big problem. Because you can easily compare depression and loneliness to a lot of things. But at the same time, if being alone is your default, and that is in conflict with the loneliness, that creates a dissonance, which, well, hello, that is not very good for anyone who can't handle stress. At the same time, with everything that's been going around this year, that's a lot, really. That's a lot of readjustments and things to think about, basically. Think back to your childhood with a dad who weren't very, well, dad, I would say. Who wasn't a father. There were no Star Wars reference there. And I've been a lot through the years. I tried to be a goth, that didn't work. I tried to be a rebel, that didn't work out because, well, when you got parents that grew up in the 70s, that was hard. I tried to be me. Who are me, basically? Tried to develop everything, but then again, never came to. And so I decided, okay, fine, I'll try and be professional. In the term that, okay, let's have a bit of a distance. Let's treat everyone just like a colleague and see how that works. Worked for a bit. Not in the long time, not in the long run. And so I decided, okay, fine, I'll see how complex I can be at the same time as being transparent. That's a hard balance to have. And if you look at some of my other videos, I'm way more hyper than I am right now. And that's because, well, you don't need to always be on. You can't always be on. You can't always have a lot of energy pumping through your body. You can't always have 500 liters of coffee in your body. You can't always have a good day. Just like today. It wasn't a particular good day, not a particular bad day, nor a, well, mediocre day, which I am being told by my psychologist that those are the days you're mostly depressed. Yeah. Good to know. Good to fucking know that, because that's the problem. If what you characterize as a bad day isn't the worst part, that's just a day where the thing seems a bit darker. But those who are completely grey and neutral, those are the problem. And that again is not the best thing to think about, and that is a problem with these things, because I can talk about this for ages and ages, but here's the catch, however. If I think too much about things, well, hello, mood swing. And mood swing it is, like hitting a bat. And no, I'm not talking about hitting Batman, I'm talking about hitting your head against a wall for about an hour. Which I wouldn't recommend to everyone, or anyone. because that's what I did when I was a kid, and I can explain a whole lot. I did that because, well, I was addicted to slot machines. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, I had a lot of baggage growing up, and, well, we all have baggage. That's the deal with humans. We all have our memories, we all have our stories. Just sit down and well, let's talk about it. But then again, I always had that excuse, like many others come up with, that some people have it worse. That doesn't bloody matter, because even if someone has it worse, that doesn't mean that you don't have it bad enough. Putting people always ahead of you is not always a good idea. It's, well, never a good idea to do that in a long perspective, or in a very big perspective, like, yeah, I have $100 in my checking account, I'm getting paid next week, let's donate 90 of those and starve ourselves. No. You have to think of a balance that works for you, and a balance that is healthy. And when it comes to mental health, that is often a hard thing to do. Because I have never starved myself, I have never had anorexia. I have had I've had moderate obesity when growing up. That has thankfully gotten way better since I attended university, and I didn't starve myself for, well, a reason. It was more like I forgot to eat, and that was because of the Asperger I discovered this year. Whoops. And so a lot of things that goes way beyond me happens, and so that's fine, because, well, if you forgot to eat, well, whoops. Let's take it up again. Let's pick it up where we left it. Let's pick up our childhood toys, what we thought was fun back then, and pick it up and continue with it. Like me, I found my old Beyblades in a box over here, which I loved when growing up, and I still enjoy it. I found my old Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Duel Masters and TGI cards. Still play with them. I make decks all day long if I have the patience to do so, or just the. What should I do today? Magic cards? Yes, let's do that. And that's the fun part. Do whatever you think is, well, fun, and carry on. We all carry a great fight within us, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, well, it's hard being here. It's hard trying to do something better. It's hard to be better, but then again, what is humanity without being hard sometimes? And no, that was not meant to be an innuendo, but take it as you want. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I won't say I'm sorry that this isn't upbeat, because I'm not that upbeat all the time, and you know it. Anyway, that's it for me, Vazco, and this vlog, whatever it is. Bye bye! Hope you have it a bit better. Hope you had a few laughs. See you soon.